we're talking the higher level of Siege. I'll try and keep ranked in mind as well. I'll try and keep like a general like combination of both. That's gonna be my take. You know, I don't play Pro League anymore, but I used to. I play ranked a lot these days. So I kind of, I know one and I play the other. Ace, we're gonna put on great. He counters mute now, but it's not every wall that he's good to breach on. And he doesn't have any throwables in the current meta game. And, you know, we all know Jaeger and Aruni are played quite a bit. So throwables are super, super nice. His gadget is a throwable, but then he doesn't get to do the hard breaching job. So like that's not good. Amaru, bad, too specific. It's like one-off strats. Like BDS has done it before in EUL, where like you can go up like the CEO hatch on consulate and you can plant on the couch. In ranked, it's like, oh, no drone, YOLO in the window and you die. And if you don't die, then you get a kill, then you die. Maybe if you're crazy, you get 2 kills, then you die, but eventually you die. And it's not like team dependent. Again, you don't have any synergy. Normally, teams don't play like Lion and Dokkaebi to support it because, again, solo bolo queue. Ashe is good, you know, soft breach. Some people don't like the weapons or the scopes, but Ashe is good. She brings the soft breach, which is always good. Like, she will always be a good operator. Same with Sophia. They will just always be good or great or always good. But Ashe is the weakest soft breacher right now. Ayanna is better, Finka is better, and Sophia is better. So therefore, she cannot be in great, and she cannot be always good. You could argue she's situational, but the thing is, no, because it's like every situation is the situation that she's good for. So like, yeah. If she had 3 breaching charges, she would be an A tier, a great. If she had 3 Ashe charges like she did before. But now she has no flashbangs, and she only has 2, so she has to be only good. Blackbeard, bad, too specific. Shield dies in 1 bullet. It's bullshit. It's actually kind of overpowered, but it's a useless operator, right? If you play Vigil, you keep the entire enemy team confused. If you play Caveira, the entire enemy team is scared of going alone. If you play Blackbeard, you can tank 1 headshot, but your entire team will still die. No one really f***s with Blackbeard because his gun is kind of sucky, his shield is kind of sucky, and he's just kind of bad. I used to be a BB main. It is what it is. Blitz actually used to be a great operator, but they have completely butchered Blitz. Slower ADS time, increased hipfire spread. Melee animation is not that great anymore, so you die when you melee it all the time. His flash range has been reduced to 3 meters, which means that unless you're meleeing them, like in their face, they will not get blinded. And you can shoot above his shield on a pixel, it's a pretty big pixel, and kill him. He's a bad and way too specific operator. The only place I would play him is if you're YOLO rushing for fun, or like Oregon blue take. You know, you rush into elbow. It's like the one area that he's good in. The only area that he's good in. That's about it. And you cannot even play him on like half the maps. Like Chalet, he sucks. Cafe, he sucks. Klopp, he sucks. Oregon, he sucks. Except for that blue rush, of course. So he's really, really bad. He used to be great though. Buck is actually situational. Because you only really want to play Buck when you want to go below. Say you're doing a hooker attack on coastline. You can go into pink bar and you can Buck vertically below them. Buck has lost his grenades and he's lost his good scope. And he does not have a gun 6 or anything. He has a flashbangs that's a heartbeat gadget, but both are very overrated. Like flashbangs every operator has these days, and heartbeat gadget just isn't used ever. And if you did want to do it, you could bring it on other operators if you really wanted to, like the Capitao, for example. Or at least Capitao used to have. I think he still has it. So Buck is pretty situational. Buck's better than Ashe? No. Buck is not better than Ashe. I would argue if you picked both operators 100 rounds, I would only pick Buck 5 or 10 times. If I'm being generous, 10. If I'm being like not generous, 5. Cafe top floor attack, I would call for a Buck. Clubhouse, I could maybe call for a Buck if they play Pulse or Lossy Force. Coastline, you can play for Buck, but it's difficult with map control. I wouldn't play Buck on Chalet. I wouldn't play Buck on Clubhouse, except for that one specific instance. I wouldn't play Buck on Cafe, except for the situational instance again. So, like, it's like the one-off strats again. But it's not bad. It's just, you're kind of trolling if you don't pick Sledge instead of Buck. Unless you got this strat of going below. Capitao, is Capitao actually always good? He's kind of always, no one plays him. But he's actually really, really good. No one plays Wamai. Wamai counters this guy, Capitao. He doesn't care about ADSs. Doesn't care about a runic. Well, he does care about runic gates, actually. Decent gun Fire is insane. Smokes are insane. He's so good. You know, what if we get an underrated category? Like that, right? Because he's not always good. Because then he would be played. He's underrated. He's giga good. No utility burn? Well, his gadget works as a utility burn for Arunis and for Wamais, right? It doesn't go through you. But the thing is, you don't need utility burn if you have Capitao because it goes through ADSs. Let's say they play Catwalk with a Jaeger. You don't need to ADS clear. You just fire, boom. Either he runs and he gets shot, or he stays and he gets fired. So it doesn't matter. Dokkaebi. I guess we have to put... I was gonna put her in bad, but she's not bad. Dokkaebi is kind of bad because no one plays Echo and everyone bans Valkyrie. So if you do hack a phone, if you're super lucky, they play bulletproof cams. If you're ultra lucky in rank, they play Maestro. Which is like, if they play Maestro, it's really good value. It's not her fault. It's just Echo is like, operator, not fun, not that strong. And Valkyrie's just banned because she's really good. She has gone 6, so she has soft breach, which is kind of what make... Like, if Bok had gone 6, Bok could be good, for example. And I think Dokkaebi goes from bad to situational because she has the gone 6. So you have gone 6 smokes, decent weapons, arguably. DMR, Bush G, and SMG 12. Well, you have the gone 6 in that case, but you know. And the gadget is actually pretty good. If you can manage the weapons. I personally don't like... I don't mind the weapon. I think it's fine. I think DMR slaps. Like, Maverick DMR is insane. Twitch DMR is insane. The issue is that Twitch has like the best gun in the game pretty much. So like, why would you play DMR? Finger. Would you guys hate me for putting her in grade? 2 nades, gone 6. She got buffed last patch, so she heals now. So she can heal every single attacker. Is it 60? I think it's 23 times, no? Or is it 33 times? It's 60, 80, or 90. I'm not sure. But she can heal more than half your health to every single attack of the game. And if you're injured, you get revived with that 30 health. Or 20 health. The recall buff is ass. Like when you're mid gunfight and you get fingered, you shoot the floor. It sucks. It absolutely... And the sound when you think at... You can't hear anything. But besides those 2 quirks, she's really good as an operator pick. Really, really good. And if you're a coordinated team, you can play around this aspect. You know, you use it as a healing instead of as an entry thing. Competitively, she's great. For ranked, she's probably good. But I'm gonna put her in grade because we got the mixture of both. And I do think that if anything, she's underrated in ranked. People just discuss, like, they don't like the recall thing, but if you played her a lot, you probably wouldn't mind that much, to be honest. Floris, I don't think he's consistent enough to be great. It's like the Twitch discussion, right? Like, if you have your gadget tied to a drone and the drone dies to 1 bullet, a Mossy spider, or a mute jammer, you can get a lot of value for your drone, or you get 0. Like, imagine your drone gets jammed, your drone gets mossied, your drone, it gets shot. You get 0 value as Floris, and you spend 30 seconds on drones. Not good. But you can always pick him. It is 4 soft breaches, and he has 2 extra drones. It's 6 drones, 4 limited. Good gun, good. But he is very counterable. Again, if for ranked, probably not as big of a deal. For pro play, let's see if the Oregon, like, the jammers are so... Like, we had to go off him today for it, for example. He has flashbangs too, I believe, so he has burn, which is super good. Fuse. I mean, to me, Fuse is... It's like... Even though he got buffed, it's like... How many times have you seen a Fuse in ranked? And how many times have it been like, wow, that was really good? Like, wow, I want to play Fuse now because this guy did something crazy. Half the time, the wall is jammed. Half the time, the wall is electrified. The other half, it's Kite Clawed. And the 4th time, it's just like, it doesn't do anything. It's situational at best. But it's also too specific still. The goal for win, we lost. Like, he's good for consulate basement attack. Actually, really good. But... And Clubhouse basement attack could be decent to counter the impact tricking, which isn't really the meta, but... And he's a 1-speed. If Fuse was a 2-speed, I would put him in situational 100%. 100%. But being a 1-speed, it's such a downside as an attacker because you're always rotating and moving a lot. But you can play around that by just having this guy be on drones and then not move a whole lot, maybe. Good on Kitchen Coastline? Good on Coastline in general. Like, blue ping bar attack is good. Kitchen is really good. He's actually even good for Hooker attack. If you can repel... Listen, if you repel on Skylight, which is possible, by the way, and you fuse the wall, the guy in pool is situational. Situational. I wouldn't put him in good. I wouldn't. He's not playable enough for that. Glass? Dog, dude. A gadget where you have to stand still to charge your gadget, and if you move, it drains. And it's a DMR. I don't know, man. You have yellow pings now. Bulletproof see through smokes. I don't know. That's, I would rather play Ying and just go crazy, or like Lion or anything else, honestly. It's not even underrated, it's bad. Hibana, first S tier, easy. Best heartbeat gadget in the entire game. Like, if you look at every single scenario, hatches, walls, peek holes, wall deny, counters mute now. Like, Hibana has really good primary gun, really good secondary gun, flashbangs, 3 speed, first S tier operator, for sure. Oh, sorry, second S tier operator. It's Ayanna. Gun 6, grenades, gadget counters are Rooney. You have more drone capabilities and entering. You can fake people out, drop hatches, make sound. Her weapons got nerfed. She lost her 2x and 1.5x on her guns, but besides that, it's really good. Also, she's on a diffuse 3 speed, so that's cool. IQ, this is crazy. This is crazy, right? This is actually like absurd. IQ was here for like 3 years or 2 years, and she's so bad now. Valkyrie is always banned. No one plays Echo. Her guns are reused on other operators, so like it's not even like she has good unique guns. She has no throwables. You don't do vertical play with her anymore. The only good thing is that they buffed her against Vigil because you can now ping stuff. But again, no one plays IQ. No one plays IQ. It's kind of underrated, right? Because IQ... Okay, so IQ isn't bad. But you can't play her because you need 4 grenades, 2 heart breachers, soft breach, Thatcher if it's open, maybe like the one-off operator like a shield. You need Jackal sometimes. Sophia's great. Ayanna's great. Finka's good now. Like, you can't play her ever. Never. Because you need all the other things first. Maybe on Coastline you can get away with it. But Valkyrie's banned on Coastline. So like, who cares, right? I'm gonna put IQ in D, dude. This. Gridlock, D. Just bad. Like, the only player in the entire Siege world that plays Gridlock willingly is Hungry. Everyone else, like, if they fuck up, they get put on Gridlock as a punishment. So that they can feel the pain. 1 speed operator, Pepega gun. It's not bad, but like, gadget just smokes though. The only thing she's good for, which was abused by Navi back in the day, is that if you use her gadget, you silent plant because her gadget is so loud. But that's like a cheese mechanic, and it doesn't even work consistently. Like, you pick Nomad over Gridlock 100% of the time, and even if Nomad's banned, you don't pick Gridlock. Like, oh, Nomad's banned, guys, let's pick Gridlock. No, you don't, because he doesn't replace Nomad even in the slightest. Shackle is good. I would say he's like situational in Pro League, but for ranked he's for ranked he's S tier, right? Jackal's like broken in ranked. We saw he's banned so much. Amazing, best gun in the game, right? Insane. I think he's great. He's like situational in Pro League. He's S10 ranked. He's always banned. I think he's great for that reason. Like, that's like the ranked empowering it, right? For Pro League, he's a pretty average operator that you pick for roam clears. But Jackal's kind of broken because he can scan people a minute and a half after they've been somewhere, which means that half the round, right? That's crazy. No skill, 0 risk, long range scan. It's basically silent. Has shotgun secondary, smoke grenades. Like, we're giving him an A tier. Kali, underrated. 2 things. She got nerfed. Now that Rook armor gives more health and operators can have like above a certain threshold, she doesn't one-shot operators with Rook armor anymore if they're 2 armor. I played Kali in ranked a lot and unranked, and there's so many times, I say it meant like 4 times or for whatever, where like a guy would have like 10 health and I shot him in the torso because the Rook armor. So, but again, no one plays Rook. So like, that's why she's like still good, you know? Secondary is decent. The reason why she's underrated is the gadget. She is a Thatcher 2.0. Thatcher is always banned, and no one plays Kali. And they play Mute like, haha, now they can't do shit. But it's like, Kali literally counters Mute and Bandit 100%. The only operator she struggles against is Kite. And Kite is also getting banned more and more ranked. So, yeah. No one puts jammers the right way to counter her either, so she's giga underrated. Lion, situational. Literally goes with Dokkaebi. Often played together with Dokkaebi. Often played together with Jackal sometimes as well to make them move, make them not move, etc. Situational. Decent weapon. Some people like it, some people hate it. I think it's whatever. Maverick is great. I would almost put him in S tier, but to be honest, in ranked especially, people are really bad with Maverick, and people are bad at covering him. Like, I played Diamond Champion Elo, and Maverick is not getting played much, and he also dies a lot because of bad cover or bad understanding of the game. So great. Has nades, decent weapon. I don't think it's amazing, but it's decent. It's good. He goes against, you know, the Kite, which like is an issue. And obviously the mutant, the bandit for that matter. But he requires a lot of setup for it to work. That's about it. Monty. Oh, God. I mean, Monty's here. Sorry. Monty was. Monty got nerfed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways in one patch. Monty got the most nerfs of any operator, I think, in the entire game in one patch. It was crazy. Like, he's actually so bad. He's actually almost here. He's here, but he's almost here. When you melee him, he can't turn. Hip fire reduction. Melee animation got pixel above the head. Desync server turning animation. So, like, I'll look at someone, but on their screen, I'm looking away from them. I die so many times with that. Doesn't have melee priority anymore, it seems like. ADS speed got reduced. And half the operators counter him now. Clash him, Ella him, C4 him, Impacts him, Melee him, Goo Mind him, Echo Drone him, Frost Traps him, Electrification him. He's just I'm sad. Nook, situational. Nook has nades and stuff, but like no one plays Valkyrie, no one plays Echo. Like, and Valkyrie's banned, Echo's never played. Like, no one plays Maestro in ranked. So like sneaking past cameras, like her entire design is never used. So she's just like a walk-in FMG9 with nades who crouch walks. It's like Caveira on attack. It says you had to interrogate, you know? She's kind of B, she's kind of C, she's kind of D. These nuts, dude. I kind of want to put in situational because I think I would put Caveira in the same position. It's like fear factor, you know? The fact there's this guy creeping around the map and you don't know. I feel like it with people. Like, when you know they have Caveira, you're like, I can't go alone. And I feel like Nook kind of does the same. She has nades, she has good gun, like even she's like really good DPS wise. But she doesn't bring much value to the team outside of nades. And her playstyle is solo bolo, but her nades are team based, right? Osa, when she first came out, like right now, is like really good. But I believe it's because that people don't know how to play against her. Kind of like Blitz was back in the day, kind of like Monty was at one point. People, kind of like how Clash is right now. She's frustrating sometimes. But honestly, if you're smart at it, decent at the game, smart about it, she's not really a threat. She's kind of like Jaeger, where, okay, they pick Osa, so what do? We pick 2 impact grenades. Like, one operator with impacts. That's it. They pick Osa, you picked impacts. And, like, you nullify each other. She's really not that big of a deal. I think she's great. Like, the smokes, and, like, the way I would play her is how we do in, like, Go Force and Ranked. Well, not Go For, in Ranked. Where, like, you can create all these new plant positions that before didn't exist. And no one plays impacts in this current meta because the impact operators that are commonly played are, like, Wamai and Alibi. But Alibi is a shield and Wamai is not played because Jaeger, right? And no one plays, like, Rook, and not many people play Lesion these days. So I feel like she's great right now. But I feel like she'll probably be good in, like, 3 months when people get accustomed to her. And she has great weapons. Nomad, great. She's kind of situational. But honestly, if you use Nomad... Like, you can use Nomad every round. It's just you don't always get great value. And I also personally don't think that the operator is that hard to counter. You cannot Nomad a staircase. You can always slow, lean, peek, and air jab and shoot it. It's great for runouts outside a building. And it's great for jump outs like meeting, balcony, consulate, or window in general. But there is that slight time in the air where she can kill you. She has throwables too. Is she S tier? I don't think Nomad's that good personally. But for ranked, I can see why people think so. Because they're like, oh, there's an air jab, I can't flank. But you can flank. Like, an air jab is just like a no damage claymore that you can just shoot in most scenarios. I'm gonna put her in A. I'm not gonna put her in S. I'm not gonna do it. Sledge, he lost the SMG11 chats. Does that put him away from S? I'm not gonna lie. I used to be a Sledge main. I haven't played Sledge almost ever since the nerf. And whenever I do play Sledge, it hurts. Physically hurts. I actually think the SMG11 nerf might have fucked him a little bit. I think he's great. Because you can supplement breaching charges on so many operators that are metagame. Ashe, Sophia, Ace, Flores can do it. Even Hibana can do it. The thing is, you always need vertical, but again, like, Sledge is only really S tier because he's the only vertical operator with nades. Like, if Buck had nades, I would put Buck in S tier. I would. 100%. But Buck doesn't have nades. And if Buck had gone 6, he would be good or great. I could put him situational. No, because he's not situational. You can play Sledge every single bomb side. Every single one. Which is kind of why he's always good, I guess. It's just, I feel like the SMG11 nerf really made it so that he's only really good because he's the only one that can do what he does. Like at that level of play. I don't know if it's fair judging SMG11 nerf. Because like his gadget's the same. Primary is the same. Like nades are the same. His influence is the same. I just think if you can play like a zoom scope on your primary and like the holo SMG11 for like vertical play, it's so good. Like Sledge SMG11 raining terror from above is so fucking good. And if you gotta fight a long angle, you get your L85 2.5x. And you just have like the entire spectrum. This one's tough. This one's tough. Thatcher S. Done. Easy. Twitch is so good, dude. We have to put Twitch in S. We have to. The drone got buffed. She has 3 drones. F2. Smoke grenades. They can jump. Infinite range. 5 player damage. Destroys gadgets. And Mute just got nerfed. So Mute might get played less now. Which makes her even better. There is one issue with Twitch. There's this bug with drones in general. That there is there's a dead pixel. So you can move your mouse. But it doesn't move in game as long as you don't move the mouse very quickly. Like you can flick, but you can't do like micro adjustments on drones. And that's Twitch. And they actually fixed the bug, but then when they changed her to be like 0, it came back. Thermite, I think Thermite's also great. Ace, Maverick, and Thermite are picked depending on like the bomb site, the strat, and the operator bands. Because they all do the same thing, but differently. Thermite's the weakest heart breach, probably, but he has smokes as the only heart breach operator, and he has throwables, so he's better for plant situations than like Maverick or Ace are, and Hibana. And that's also why you see like they generate like Thermite's the Panzer, you know? But his gadget is worse than Ace and Maverick as well. But I feel like it equals out A tier. Oh, it's a great gun. Great gun. Ying, can I put her on underrated? Like no one plays her? I think you could pick Ying like almost every round. She has 5 ADS burners, 2 smokes, 3 candelas. If she gets Omai, they still explode. As I said, smokes and flashes. LMG fast reload gun. 2 speed, 2 armor. Only gets countered by Warden. And she just got a flashbang buff. Which I don't think works very well on Ying, but yeah. Ying is S tier? No, so the new changes to flashbangs don't actually work with Ying that well. In my experience, and I've played her a lot and I've played against her a lot of the time people don't get flashed by Blitz and Ying. It's like Ying actually got worse with the new flashbang change. Ying is insanely strong if like the Candela is close to you, but if they're far away, you don't get blinded anymore. You used to get blinded across the fucking map. It was crazy. So otherwise I would put her in S tier. Otherwise I would. Sophia's great. Like sure, AR nerf, but you know what? LMG has the exact same stats. It has like 1 less damage in like 20 fire rate less or 10 fire rate less or something. It's like literally the same. Concussion mines for roam clear, for people clear, for ADS clear, for Momai clear. Soft breach, 2 of them. A league below Ayanna. Same league as Finka. Because she brings different kinds of value. She used to play S tier back in the day maybe. But they also, remember they reduced the explosive range of Sophia. Sophia doesn't break almost anything. Like, it's like a tiny area of effect damage, which means that she's not great for killing people with the gadget, and it's actually hard to get Bandit, Kite Claws, and Mute Jammers even. You gotta be really tight on it. Zero, to me, as a European player, I hate Zero. I think he's trash. But I see how NA plays him as like the flank watch operator, and if you play around it, it's actually quite good. You get 4 cameras that can be all flank cameras, or what I call map control cameras. But you can also flex the Zero to like kill ADSs, Goyo shields, distract enemy players, take care of gadgets, post plant info. Zero is just a boring operator to play, but he's not bad. He's just boring. He's like Echo and Attack, you know? You know what's surprising? There's almost no good operators. You know, like that fine line between really good and then like situational? It's only 2 operators on this list. That's funny, no? You clearly want to play these operators, like clearly. And if you look at the meta and the operators that are being banned, maybe minus Osa. I mean, Osa's banned a lot, actually. These are all, like, mentioned, talked about, and played a lot. Maybe you can argue, like, Thermite or something isn't that much, but I'm pretty happy with this list. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Alibi. Great operator. Impacts, shield, 1.5x buff recently. Gadget can kind of act like a Lesion mine or a frost trap where, you know, you can block window jump-ins to gain information. You can put them like far in the distance and they get shot. You know somebody's there. She's kind of underrated in a way But to be honest, now that she's a shield 1.5x, people have started playing her a lot. Aruni, S tier. Built-in shotgun hand. Gadget is like a mini Jaeger or my one. She has the Roni. The Roni is insane. One of the best defender guns in the game right now. Aruni is so consistently good on every bomb site, every map, every game. So good. Lesion kind of went from S to A to B, in my opinion. He has impacts, which is like you want to pick Lesion for his impacts. The issue is Alibi's impacts or Maya's impacts. Even Rook nowadays have impacts. Well, he's had it for a while, but you can pick him. There's just other operators I would pick for the impacts. And the Gumine, it's gotten nerfed in like 3 ways: the vision, the damage, and the amount he has. So like his gadget is kind of like overrated. I think maybe in low elo he's good because people are bad at like finding the thing, but honestly nah. Guinfa got nerfed so hard, it's crazy. Back when you had the icon through the walls, it was insanely strong, but that was a long nerf ago. Bandito, geek, kind of too bad specific, honestly. Like even for some bomb sites like Theme Park, Throne Defense, again you can nade above the breach, right? Clubhouse CC, Sophia stun drone hole, nade 51, Capitao fire, grenades, vertical play. You can't bandit trick on any bomb site in the game right now with success guaranteed. Chalet, the drone hole, vertical. You literally like Kite is better in every aspect, way safer, and mute is picked instead of bandit these days as well. You can counter bandit with Kali, Twitch, Thatcher, nades. There's so many counters, it's crazy. Bandit is actually really, really bad. And I say that as I'm a bandit player. I bandit trick. That has been my job. I bandit tricked in Pro League for like 3 years. I love bandit. I love the interaction. But also, you cannot bandit trick Ace. Ace explodes faster than you can bandit trick. So if they Kali or EMP or nade the bandit charges, and you throw 2 Selma charges, which are Ace charges, at the same time, like after each other, you cannot bandit trick both. It's not physically possible speed-wise. Not unless you can tank the nade damage somehow with like Rook Dock overheal, you know? So Ace completely counters him. Maverick completely counters him. Thermite counters him if you time it as well. His gun is like, some people like it, some people hate it, but honestly, the MP7 is nothing crazy. It has a lot of recall for the DPS that it has. Castle situational. He makes and breaks some bomb sites, and then some bomb sites he's just absolutely useless. He's often used to extend the roam game of defenders to get some protection. The 1.5x on UMP was a nice buff, but the gun is still really iffy unless your name is Troy. Again, it's a comfort issue. A lot of people would rather play Pulse to get the info in the C4 rather than a gunfight confrontation with the UMP. Caveira, again, I put Nuke in situational. I kind of want to put Caveira there as well. For pro play, Caveira is an absolute meme. It's like if you pick her, you're trolling, right? But for ranked, it's like that. It's kind of like Jackal and Nuke, like the scare factor. Like in low elo, she's banned a lot because people don't drone. Like that's if you know you're in low elo with Caveira banned a lot. Like then you're like gold or below most likely. I don't see it happening in plat or diamond. It's like you can't go solo bolo because like you might just get interrogated and lose the round. And people like have bad drone habits and ranked and stuff. But I really wouldn't put her anywhere else but situation. Like some bomb sites, some maps, some maps rather, she can hide in good spots and stuff. But that's about as far as you can take it. Yeah, it took 3 years to get interrogation in Pro League. Wussy. It was Paris Major. The Junas. My teammate. Hey. Clash. Clash is kind of in a weird spot. Clash is kind of underrated, and I say that because she's not played very much, neither in ranked or Pro League. She could get played every single round and every single map and every single game with ease, but she's not. Which is like, she's kind of S tier, but no one knows this. Like, no one plays her. She has no good counters, no direct counters. Kali right now is bugged, so if you shoot Clash with Kali, nothing happens. So that makes her Clash even better. I want to put her in underrated just because she's not being played. I thought she would get played more. I think I put her in S tier the last time on the tier list, but no one's really picking up on it. Also, she's kind of team dependent because like if your teammates aren't peeking with you or helping you, you will just die. Like unless you play super passive, but then like what's the point of playing Clash? Like if you play passive Monty, what are you doing? You know? Direct counter of Thatcher, stuns, and nades? Wrong. None of those directly counter her. They're not gonna do anything. Nades do like 20 damage to her. Thatcher disables her active Sabibu, but that's about it. And stuns don't do anything. You just walk backwards and you just hold left click. Like it does Doesn't do anything. She has no direct counters. The biggest direct counter that Clash has is Kali. And Kali's bugged. She doesn't even counter anymore. Capitao is the second biggest counter. Capitao's never played. He was an underrated on the other chart as well. So like no one plays Capitao. And you can outwalk the Nomad unless you extend too far up with no cover. Dock, boys. Dock, Rook in combination is like, if you play them together, they're both like situational because you play them together, right? Because you can do some crazy, like you can survive grenades. You can actually survive Capitao fire if you play Rook Dock. You can actually survive it 100% of the time. It's especially now with the armor buff, health buff. But if you only pick Dock, Dock's kind of sucks. Like the Thunderbird is better than Dock. If you just pick Rook, it's like not good, not bad. But like, it's kind of nice sometimes, you know? But the value is like, if you get headshot, nothing changes. If you get naded, you always get injured. If you get body shot, you get a higher chance of winning the gunfight. So a Dock is going to be too specific. Just because he only works in combination with Rook and the addition of Thunderbird, which is just like a straight up better Dock. Because like Thunderbird's like a Dock on steroids. You can juggle your bots and heal every 5 seconds. Less than 5 actually. You can heal every 3 or 4 seconds, which is crazy strong. You can fully heal your entire team in less than 30 seconds, which is crazy. Echo, again, too bad, too specific. His drones are no longer invisible, make a ton of noise. His gun is like very like on the average scale, but it has a 1.5x. And like, he's not fun to play. He's not good to play. He's blocky with the ceiling. Echo works on hard bomb deny strats. Basement on bank. Basement on clubhouse maybe. Or CC clubhouse. He's half decent for basement consulate. But again, against half decent players or at Twitch, it won't matter. Like, I haven't seen a single Echo. I haven't seen money Echoes the last many months. But if you really want to, I can compromise and put him in situational. But let me tell you, he's a bad situational operator. Ella is like, if this was a frustration meter, Ella would be here. Super frustrating operator. No counterplay. Can't see, can't hear. Stupid gadget. Has a shield as well, so she can get picked more. Like, she has the scope on the pistol, so you get spawn peeked by Spoit. Not fun, right? Not fun. She's like good. Unless you play Ella shotgun, then she's S. She's good. Like, it's like a better Lesion almost. Like, for staircases, because it's a guaranteed help where the Guman isn't. She only really gets by like Twitch or Thatcher, but no one plays Thatcher because banned. Frost, situational as well. There's a lot of situational defenders, by the way. Like, she's great on Clubhouse Gym, great on Skyscraper, decent on Chalet, decent on some, good on some bombs on Chalet like Bar. Again, very inconsistent, very unreliable. Has the shield. Lost the 1.5x. Did lose the 1.5x. With the 1.5x, she was good. Now, it's like, I would really not pick her without the 1.5x unless the bomb site needs her. Like, really thrives with her. Because she lost a lot of gunfight potential, I think. On LAN, her gun slaps. But online, it's kind of rough. Goyo. Goyo's great. 2 shields. Crazy value. Good gun, in my opinion. Like low recoil, high fire rate. C4. I think it's C4 barbed wire, I think. Or is it C4 beep boop? Beep boop I think it's beep boop. Isn't good situational? No. Shields are always insane. Every bomb site, every map, every round. The shields are Shields are arguably stronger than mirror windows. Because they don't have a vertical play, except for GUI shields, if you know. And you can put them anywhere. You can make any area of a map a stronghold because shields are so insanely overpowered with the slits. If the Goyo gadget was the old shield without the slits, Goyo would be like bad situational. Probably situational, right? But with the slits, you get 2 walking mirror windows that you can reposition, adjust, and they don't die to anything except for explosives. Jaeger, S tier. Same as a Rooney, like the deny, the necessity, the gun is great. Barbed wire is great to have. Like, Jaeger is like the stable double barbed wire you get every round. If you didn't play Jaeger, you would actually struggle to get barbed wire, and you'd have to go out of your way to find barbed wire elsewhere in a lot of situations, depending on your lineup, but that's often the case. So Echo, as dumb as it sounds, you actually want to have one set of barbed wire for almost every single strat, because there's always like a staircase or a flank or a weakness of a door that you have to just commit a massive resource. Otherwise, it's not worth the value. Like, it's not worth putting a Maestro cam or a bulletproof to watch that door. You just put a barbed wire and play sound queue. Kite, S tier. Okay, this is tricky. Kite is S tier because Thatcher is always banned. Kite's also always banned, right? But if Thatcher's open, then Kite would be like situational. If Thatcher's banned, he's S tier, right? It's one of those. So I guess he would end up in like a situational. Like if Thatcher is banned and Kite is open, you play Kite every round. Like, no questions asked. The Bandit, arguably the Muta combined the two. But if Thatcher's banned, then he's S tier, right? The nice thing about Kite, even if Thatcher's open, is that you can Kite Claw trick and you can actually force out EMPs for no cost. Like let's say Clubhouse Basement Defense, Moto Hatch. You can, and even Kitchen Hatch, you can sit and throw a Kite Claw, and when you see the blue light from the EMP or hear it, you pick the claw back up, or back down, I guess, back up, and they wasted an EMP for nothing as a countermeasure, as a like, what if, you know? And then if you're not fast with breaching, you do it again. Then you wasted two Thatchers. Or you do one Moto, then Kitchen after, you wasted two EMPs with no cost, and you still have two Kite Claws left. I mean, I kind of want to put Kite in S tier, honestly. It's complicated. I'll put him in great. How about that? I'll put him in great. Capcan. Underrated. Honestly. So fucking good. So good. Let's say you want to roam, right? If you have a Capcan, you waste so much time or you deal so much damage. Because you can't just run through a door. You gotta check every single door on the entire map. Besides like the crazy faraway ones, right? And especially in ranked, we don't drone that good and you have no communication. You have to check every door yourself. If you're SSG roam clearing, you gotta try Canadian and be like, this door clear, that door clear, Rambi push kill. But in ranked, you're like, Capcan trap being shot at, spotted, run, like, oh, where's my drone? I dropped my grenade. Like, it's the chaos effect. It's kind of like Caveira, it's chaos effect. But no one really plays Capcan, but he's so good. Capcan on Border is huge. Capcan on Chalet is huge. Skyscraper huge. Clubhouse roam game huge. Oregon roam game huge. Consulate average. He has some good play in Pro League. Yeah, back when Border was in Pro League, Capcan was a legit pick for the... There was a meta game where you would impact the eye via the hatch in server in towards Armory Breach back when Firma was the main operator. And you would play Capcan to solidify the workshop hold because of info. That was really good. Bank? Yeah, Bank is also good on Bank. Really good on Bank. Maestro to me is always good. Like, he's not played a lot. So I wouldn't put him underrated because everyone knows how strong he is, right? Twitch doesn't counter him anymore. That actually buffed Maestro. The biggest counter to Maestro was the Twitch. Twitch doesn't work as an EMP. It's now like a sap, like a zero. So you cannot disable the Maestro cam and then shoot it. It doesn't do anything now. Unless it's open, you can kill it. Damage, plant and eye, info, bulletproof, gadget. It works so well with shields, with Jaeger, with Aruni, with Omai. Because it brings into that whole like deny. Like if you have 6 things they gotta destroy and only have 4 nades, there's gonna be 2 things they can't destroy. That could be a Maestro camera or a shield. That's super strong. Melusi went from S tier to like B tier. B, A, B, A. Like she's good, but I think a lot of people misplay her. Like I think she could be an A tier if everyone understood how she works. But a lot of players do not understand how her gadget works. And she's misused and like underappreciated because of it. She doesn't impact the game that much. And that's why I would actually put her in B instead of A. If you play her perfectly, she's A. But almost no one does. Even in Pro League, she doesn't get utilized like with max value by most teams. Some teams are really good with her, but she doesn't see that much play. It was a well-deserved nerf though. She was also buffed with the nerf. She was buffed and nerfed. It was like a rework kind of. Like she got better and worse in different areas. Kind of like Mute. Like Mute got nerfed and buffed as well. Interacts differently. And it's the same with this story. Mira used to be S tier. And in ranked, in low elo, I think she still is. Because like people just struggle with dealing with her. And I get it. Like she's frustrating. She got nerfed. You can now melee it and stuff. I think Mirror is like down here. Like there are some bomb sites where like you can do nice stuff, but in competitive play, the Mirror is just like it just makes you not play the game. Like you're just AFK behind this mirror window, jerking off, not being proactive. You're gonna get naded or vertical, then you're gonna run backwards and like run away. Like in competitive play, in high elo, she's pretty worthless. She's pretty damn weak. For ranked purposes, I would put her in good because she also you. Like if the mirror window gets opened or if it's put in like a really bad position, it kind of like Castle. It your teammates over. And not everyone knows the good mirror windows, the best mirror windows, right? So I would actually put her in good for ranked purposes, but for competitive, she's like situational or bad, too specific. I think she's actually bad in pro play. Unless you're playing like Villa or Cafe. or Cafe. Cafe, she's like insane, but only on Cafe. And that's because of the map design. She was insane on Theme Park, but Theme Park's no longer in competitive play. Coast? She's pretty meh on Coast these days, honestly. Bank, decent. I think I haven't seen like any crazy mirror strats yet on the new Bank. But again, like, it can be good. It can be good. That's why I'm gonna just leave her in good. Because she requires like the whole bomb site to be set up around the mirror window. It's a lot of work, a lot of effort. Otherwise, she doesn't work that well, you know? Oregon, she's actually not that good for Oregon. And she's not that good for Border either. And on Consulate, it sucks. Like, maybe Security Mirror, but that's the only good mirror window on the entire map. Mossy? Where is Mossy? I mean, 1.5 Roni? Does it even matter what else he has? He has 1.5x Roni. He just shoots you. You die. You die every time, right? You just die. I think you should lose the 1.5x person like a Rooney, but I don't know. You just die. You literally just... You're dead. No recall. Is super fast. Angle gripper Reno. Superman power. Roni. Just death. Mute, boys. Mute was here. Now he's here. This is the new Mute change. This is what happened. Before, Mute would basically get the entire wall. Besides the very top on like some walls that you can repel on. So Mute now does less wall deny, but more drone deny. Basically. And it also goes below in a full sphere. Before it was a cylinder, it was like I called it a half sphere. Before you went up like a cylinder and you didn't go down. So if you had a jammer on a table, you could jump below it. Now it jams below and above and to the sides. So you can now ace Nibbana here and then like nade the jammer and then breach the wall, which costs resources and time. But you get 4 jammers, you know, and 1 jammer here will do the entire job of 2 jammers, essentially, because you can cover everything, right? So now you're gonna see people counter the Mute by acing and Hibanaing the top, then flashing for ADS, then nading the jammer, then breaching again, which can be countered with impact tricks in some situations, but yeah. So Mute is not S tier anymore. He is a bit weaker for ball deny, but he's arguably as good or better for drone deny. Oryx, too specific, just bad. He makes so much noise when he climbs the hatch, and it's slow and it's messy, and you're gonna go up on certain angles, and it's nightmare fuel, man. He's decent like Cafe because you can break all the desks for holes, but so can shotguns and impact grenades. So Pulse, situational, like vertical playstyle, vertical bomb sites where you get C4 value. I think Pulse is kind of better nowadays because Valkyrie is banned so much that you don't have a lot of information on defense. But the gun and like you need to be safe below solo with no help usually. A lot of maps don't really allow for that, or at least it's not comfortable to do so. And like the current meta doesn't really favor Pulse. Like you want to have like a Rooney, Jaeger, Shields, Smoke. Smoke is S tier. It's very simple. Broken is strongest operator in the entire game on defense. Very simple. Tachanka is underrated. Tachanka is like here and here. Tachanka is very specific. It's only good right now for plant deny strats like basement bank, basement consulate. But he's really, really hard to play because the area of effect is not giga big. And if you go into a custom game and learn the lineups, I do truly believe that Tachanka is really, really, really good. Like, really good. He has a shield as well. His weapon is kind of dog unless you play the regular SMG. But that kind of... Then you lose the shotgun destruction. So he's kind of here and here, honestly. The Russians are making a comeback, man. I'm telling you. It's rough. Like, again, if you're a giga good player and you put in the effort, I think he's underrated. If you're like an average ranked player, he's just too specific. The weapon is very punishing. And his gadget doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it's like, again, just very situational. Can I duplicate this guy? Can I duplicate Tachanka? I want 2 of him. I want him here and here. Whatever. Thunderbird. Honestly, I think Thunderbird is great. You have infinite healing, spear gun on defense. If you trick your gadget, it's so good. The only issue is obviously that if your teammates get headshotted, they can't get healed, right? Like then she's useless. So if all 5 people get headshot, it's just like game's over, right? But it's just good gun, great gadget situationally, C4. Once you start gaming, heals aren't that important? Well, they are, because you have Capitao fire damage, nade damage, like you have so much chip damage in Siege, like even Twitch does 5 damage now. And more importantly, if you look at every kill in Siege history, how many percent are headshot kills? It's not that many. The higher skill level you play at, the higher the headshot percentage. Like, more, there's a breaking point, but more or less, right? Majority of people are in high rank, which means majority of people don't get headshot kills. It's a lot less than half that I hit. I would guess 23%. That's my complete bullshit guess. I would say 23% are headshot kills. She's actually really good more often than she's not. Kind of like Rook. In high elo, you just peek. And if you survive, you go back, you get full, you peek again. Sure, if you get headshotted, it's over, you die, of course. But the fact that you can peek with confidence, because if you're low on health, you kind of scoot the entire round. You'll never be screwed if you have Thunderbird in your team, never. Because she's infinite healing, infinite. Valkyrie S tier, bang. One of an operator, no one can replace her. Can throw cameras outside somehow still, that's not been nerfed. Has 3 of them, C4, high fire with low recoil gun. Used to have a shield, now she doesn't. Deagle can make holes for C4s and vertical play and holes in walls. Insane, insane. Vigil's like good and great at the same time. I think he's an A, dude. Like, no one roams better than Vigil, right? No, impacts, 3 speed, great gadget, impacts, I already said that, I think. Very diverse operator, can do a lot of stuff. Very unique, and it kind of affects the entire enemy team. In ranked. In competitive, it's like a B. In ranked, I think it's A, honestly. He barely adds anything to his team? I disagree. Alright, let's imagine this, right? You're roam clearing on Clubhouse basement attack. You see there is a Jaeger roaming top floor, with both hatches open. You have 1 or 2 people droning him. He kills the drones and you have to drone him again. This happens a few times because that's the game. Now imagine that same scenario against Vigil. You don't even know which room he is in necessarily or what floor. Because if he's in bar, it'll still look like he's top floor. Until you drone most of the area. And even if you know what room he's in, you don't know where in the room he is at exactly. Which means that you just don't know. The thing is, Vigil doesn't even have to be roaming. You can fake roam because it goes through floors. You can be in basement on Clubhouse and they think you're in bar or strip. Like, it's really good. Wamai to me is underrated, honestly. I think Wamai is better than Jaeger. No joke. Especially with Osa. When I think about it, with Osa coming out, you need impacts. Who has impacts? Wamai. So you trade, instead of playing Jaeger, you play Wamai, because Wamai is a direct counter to Osa, and you need impacts in case Osa's played. And you lose 2 Barbars and Jaeger, but that's the only thing you lose, and the Orc is a better gun statistically than Jaeger's gun anyway. Even though people don't like it as much. Like, the Orc is one of the best defender guns out there. So he's underrated for, like, rank play, but he's, like, great or always good for Pro League play, I feel like. I think he's better in underrated. Because Jaeger is still overplayed in Pro League, in my opinion, compared to Wamai. Wamai with the shield was still good. I mean, Wamai with the shield was S tier. And then ever since he lost it, it became underrated, kind of, right? Warden. Warden's better now because of the flash changes. But he still dies to nades. He still dies to headshots. I mean, he has a shield. He has shotgun, but SMG 12. I don't know. He's 1.5 if you don't play shotgun. But you lose value. Okay, he's good against Ying and Glass. Situational. He's a great Ying Glass counter. And if you want to play him in a position where you get spam flash, like let's say Elbow on Oregon, Bakery Cafe, Bank Basement maybe. Like you could play Warden. Situational. That's it. That's actually all the defenders. A little bit more balanced than attack. And it just kind of shows the diversity on defense, right? Like, you can play any of these operators. Like, everyone but Bandit, Doc. I mean, you can even play Bandit. Like, you could. It's just really low value. Rook? Oh, I'm missing Rook. Ha. I have 2 things, chat. Okay, 3 things, okay? The first is situational. The second is actually B, but I actually also have underrated. He fucks with Kali. He fucks with Capitao Fire. He fucks with anything that does periodic damage or flat damage because you have more health. It even with grenades. You have a 2x scope. Impacts. I think B. He's not situational either, really. Like, you can pick Rook whenever, honestly. He's always, like, decent. Can I justify putting him next to Mira and Melusi? Well, to be honest, right? So, this is the thing. If you look at this list, Like, let's say I upload this to Twitter right now. And you like, oh my god, Pengu, you put Melusi, Lesion, Ella, and Miro on the same level with Rook? Are you losing your mind? Wait, you think Bandit is too bad? But Pengu, you can Bandit trick this one and that one. But if you listen to the last hour and a half, the reasons. Bandit is gonna shock a lot of people, especially like bad players or like lower rank players. Because to them, they think Bandit is like insane, which he is if you play against headless chickens, right? But he's really not good. He's so useless in high elo. So useless. You only pick him because you can, not because you have to. Why is Mira and Melusi here? Because they require position. They require setup. You don't want to overlap or screw over the gadgets. Why is Ella here? Well, Ella's gadget's nice. Her weapon's iffy. You know, his Lesion's just not consistent. Rook is averagely consistently decent. You pick Rook and everyone benefits. Sure, you might get headshotted, you die. But if you get naded, you won't die. You always get injured. When you're injured, you can hold F for twice as long before you bleed out. You can move twice as far without bleeding out. You take less damage, less fire damage, fall damage, periodic damage, nade damage, gunfire damage, all damage. He is averagely consistent, okay. Mira is sometimes amazing, sometimes dog shit, sometimes okay. Melusi, depending on how you use her, is dog shit, average or bad. Or sorry, dog shit, average or good. Like, it really just depends. It's not that simple. Besides the like Mirror, Melusi, Rook, I think I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. I think I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm pretty happy with it.